Blue Lock Chapter 340 Part 2 has just released. Barou continues his attack as we get more dialogue on the current state of the France game. Different players get their time to shine. Hiryo reveals a completely new eye. I can't really summarize anymore without spoiling. As a reminder, this is the second half of the last chapter, so only 10 pages again, but there were still a lot of shocking moments in here. So let's not waste any more time and jump into it quick. The chapter starts off right where we left off, with Barou having the ball as he pulls off his signature chop dribbles, weaving one defender and then weaving another defender. We then get some Barou dialogue on how he needs to devour this path to kingship Isagi created with one singular strike. And that's the Barou we know and love. To break it down for y'all, Barou is basically saying since Isagi gave him the ball, he wants to devour that route because, you know, Barou can't like a single thing if it's related to Isagi. We then see him immediately in a shooting motion, and dog, we are still on the first page of this chapter. Bro ain't wasting any time. And as he winds up his kick, Hiryo slides in out of nowhere to stop Barou's shot, just nonchalantly saying a close one. And nah, why did I just know Hiryo was gonna come out of nowhere? We didn't see him the last half of the chapter for a reason, and then bro randomly teleported to the right place and right time. He's been doing this the whole match too. Hiryo is literally getting insane feats from a few chapters. You really never know what could happen when Hiryo is around. 1 second you're getting ready for a shot, and then he teleports, snatching the ball away. And I know the Barou haters are rubbing their bellies laughing, but to his defense, it's been one chapter, bro had one attempt, and he had to go against the server admin that is Hiryo. But we see Barou absolutely bamboozled, just saying what? And look at my man's eyes. We might actually get those Barou Hiryo fan art panels, because he is beyond mad. He's gonna air out the field. Hiryo then hits this Spider-Man pose and then starts dropping a dialogue, basically exposing the Blue Lock team. He breaks it down for us, saying how the primary offensive formation is centered around Karasu, but behind the scenes, Isagi and other players that can link up with him are really the ones shaking things up, commenting that their offensive powers really ramped up. Yeah, this is not even fair at this point. It's been like 1 minute, and Hiryo already figured out Blue Lock's whole plan. He gotta have bugged the locker room. That's the only way. And in the next page, Hiryo debuts new eyes. What is even going on? They keep giving bro everything. Now he got some stars in his eyes, got him looking like Ai from Oshinoko. All while this is happening, Hiryo says, well then, shall we go for it on our end too? Which is the scariest thing he said in this match. They even put it in a blacked out text box. We see Loki start running, Charles just speaking in a smiling imp emoji, and Rayo is shouting out that this is bad. The vertical pass counter, telling them to stay alert for Loki and Charles specifically. As Hiryo winds up his pass as well, a bunch of gear cogs are coming in towards him, and he sends it flying past Rayo and over to Layden. Now you might be wondering, who is this? This ain't Charles or Loki, but this NPC is locked in. Just look at that damn smile. Isagi is finally here too, shocked yet again, and he calls out that they're sending the pass to the wing. Layden then says, don't go thinking Loki's the only striker here, as the France NPC gaps Isagi, leaving bro looking at an after image of him. And I genuinely don't even have words. Like, I know this will just add more and more to his slander, which it gets to a point, bro, I don't even know if I could try defending you, dog. To be fair, Layden was saucing up Chigiri, so the France NPCs are just built different, even though they're not getting all the spotlight. Isagi grits his teeth and starts to realize the situation they're in is bad. He points out they saw right through the fact that their defense is gathered in the center towards Loki and Charles, so from the weaker side, they made it a speed battle. And this is when we jump over to Henri, who can't believe France adapted that quickly, saying they adjusted to their tactical change and are already defending against it, pointing out that they even shifted into an attacking formation to exploit their weak spot. Hiryo then says if Blue Lock desires an ultra offensive style, Ego also says it seems like they're going for an ultra offensive style as well. Basically, a monkey see, a monkey do fight for the second half. And in the next page, we see a damn robot on the field, winding up a whole punch as a lion and crow are jumping towards it. Oh my god, they genuinely cooked with this panel. I don't even know what's going on at this point. First, it was a mammoth, now we got Rudy from Invincible. What's next? Fish and chips for the England match? Crazy part is that that's not even unrealistic. Now, I'm not entirely sure what a crow would do against Optimus Prime right here, but this is symbolism for the no-guard slugfest that's happening on the field right now, which Hugo points out. On the field itself, we see Layden skedaddling over to Hiryo, who hits his defensive stance. With Henri amazed at the world's #1 France, Rodin, the France coach, saying to stab them or pierce through, and Layden saying a bam. Then we see Layden send the ball flying with Hiryo unable to block it, and take a gander at his face. Hiryo looks like he's seen a ghost. He calculated 10 different plays, and this was not one of them. Not a glamorous look, Hiryo, I won't lie. And as the ball is in the air, Gagamaru calls out that it's a shot-like pass, but then makes the realization that it's on a trajectory that will go into the goal unless he touches it. But that's when Loki hits this super jump, getting insane airtime. Aiku couldn't stop him in time. Karasu got the "we're cooked" face, and peep Loki, bro, is hitting the fattest grin of all time. Nah, this might be one of the best close-ups I've seen in this manga. A mid-jump devious smile like he just won the lottery. Gagamaru talks about how he has no choice but to come out, but since he got tricked with a pass to Loki, our GOAT then starts to sweat, saying they got him, with a look of pure fear in his face. And as Loki is about to get to the ball though, all hope seemingly lost, Kunigami flies in to stop it, headering the ball away before Loki can get it. And oh my god, genuine tears, bro. Kunigami making a grand return, saving us like the hero he once was. Actually poetic. Just look at the height bro reached as well. That wildcard training for real paid off. Even Gagamaru in the back can't believe his eyes. Yet again, Loki has fumbled the bag. Now, I've been saying since the start that we have to wait for Loki to lock in, but it gets to a point, man. Everyone's calling bro a fraud now because he was hyped up to put on a masterclass, yet he hasn't done anything in like the 50th minute. I might be the only person still holding out hope for bro. We still got like 7 chapters left, and we've seen what he can do. There is no way he doesn't score. I don't believe it. Anyways, the ball is going to yonder, but it's not confirmed whether it went out or not. I'm gonna assume one of the Blue Lock players can pick it up. Karasu, Aiku, Hiyori, and Shido were here, so potentially one of these 4 get it. But Kunigami drops the final line as he says, "If it's a slugfest you want, then count me in," as the chapter ends off there. Alright, so part 2 of chapter 340 has a lot to discuss. Barou getting shut down, unfortunately. You have Hugo being an absolute menace on the field, and Kunigami getting his time to shine. Now, I will say this half of the chapter went a lot faster than the last half, but this one was slightly more enjoyable in my opinion, and it has a lot more to talk about. With Hugo getting so many feats, different eyes and whatnot, Loki also underperforming, and there's a lot of talk for that. I know a lot of people's new Gen 11 rankings have changed, and I just gotta say, Hugo is such an amazing character. I think we can all agree he's been living up to the hype. On top of being an amazing player though, he's changing the new Gen rankings by the day. He has done numbers for the narrative, challenging Isagi, being the first antagonist to try and change his beliefs. I'm 100% gonna dedicate a video to Hugo soon, and then also do a new Gen ranking video once this France game ends and we get all of their feats compiled. But this game so far has been carried by Hugo, and it's not wild to say that. Let's talk about the clutch player Kunigami, what everyone is talking about. Now, I'm obviously very happy they didn't forget about bro. He came in for a clutch save, which would have been a goal. I mean, look at Gagamaru's face during that panel as well as Loki's face. I'm still hella dead from that. Bro was smiling ear to ear. But in general, I still think Kunigami has a lot more potential that needs to be shown. Yes, he's only been here for a chapter. I do get that. I'm not trying to rush it out. One defensive feat, although good, it isn't contributing to his striker feats. And I understand he's a defensive midfielder right now, so why would he have striker feats? But you have to understand he's playing out of position because he was hyped as a perfect striker going into the NEL, trained specifically to shoot with 2 legs like Noel Noah, and he's just stuck on defense duty. It's kind of like, what have we forgot about striker Kunigami? It's been since Manshine for a Kunigami goal, and I would say most of the Kunigami fans are here for his shots and not for his defense. Again, I'm not complaining because he just saved us, but just pointing out the facts here. That is kind of my hot take take for Kunigami. I do understand that Barou, Shido, Rin, and Isagi are on the pitch at the same time, so it's hard for him to get screen time. I do hope they eventually bring it back for him, though. It would be a good time now with this whole blue lock split going on, everyone chasing to be a striker, Karasu saying number 2 and whatnot. Maybe he does the same and just chases to be a striker. Now let's talk about next chapter, because the title is a very important one. Chapter 341 is back to being a full chapter, no break, entitled A Choice for the Future. Just by the chapter name alone, it sounds like it has a lot of significance. It could be referring to maybe Isagi and him having to make an important decision for the future. How does he surpass Hugo? Does he decide on number 1 or number 2, or make a completely new theory that he's referenced in the past? If the game does end by next volume, that means we have around 7 chapters to go, which is not a lot of time, especially considering we have to cover side B too, so an important decision has to be made for Isagi. And with all that's going on with the goals and whatnot, Barou, Shido, and Loki, it makes sense that this next chapter is probably Isagi focused, because that's the only time that we could fit it in without dragging attention from the Shido goal, the Barou goal, or Loki goal. I think the next few chapters will be make or break for Isagi and Blue Lock in general. I think the common belief is that we are still losing this game, but what Isagi takes away from this match will be equally as important. And this next chapter might give us that. Anyways, though, that's gonna be it for this video. I'm super excited for these next few chapters, considering we're sort of nearing the end. A lot of different players are gonna be getting their highlights, and that's always very exciting. But if you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. YouTube really thinks you like this video right here, so be sure to check that one out too. I appreciate y'all so much, and I'll see y'all in the next one.